Welcome to the fourth and final session on Data Access Tool. For these, we're going to explore the Copernicus Open Access Hub and the European Space Agency Earth Online. So, welcome. The Copernicus Open Access Hub, it's a completely free platform whereby data across the different Sentinel satellites or sensors can be downloaded for further processing. It's based on the Earth data collection for the European Space Agency, so all their satellites and sensors in space, this is a one-stop shop where you can get the data set. So you can search, you can explore before or narrow down your data collection or your data exploration down to specifics of what you need before you now download it. So if we take a look at the site itself, it looks more or less like this. So let me take you on a quick journey of the site. So here we have scihub.copernicus.eu. So you have access to the different Sentinel sensors. We have Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, Sentinel-3, Sentinel-5, and so on. So to download data, as you're still getting familiar with using the platform, it's advised that you use the OpenHub tool. Okay, it's a graphical user interface platform, and there are other ones that do not have the graphical user interface. You use the API. So I will advise stick with this for now, and as your capability improves, you can move on to different tools to have access to the data set. So this takes us to the hub, the Access Hub, where you can look at and download data, the Data Access Hub, Open Hub. So if I go back to what we're looking at, so while we wait for that to load, you should usually be presented with something similar to this, where you can now interactively select the data you want. For example, in this, we're looking for data on Sentinel-1, ingestion dates. We want it to be ordered in descending order. We want it to be sort by ingestion date, the day the data was taken on. And then between September 2019, October 1st to November 4th, 2019, and so on. We specify all the other details, and from that, this is what we got. So I was looking for something around the Gulf of Guinea, Niger Delta, specifically the Niger Delta and area and the rest, so essentially the Gulf of Guinea. So as you can see, each of these boxes represent a scene. So if I take a closer look here, you can see I have data all the way down to Lagos. This is a scene, this is another scene, this is another scene of different segments of the general area for which I'm looking for. And you can click on each one of these to get more details, and when you're ready, you can download specifically the ones of interest to you. So this kind of gives us an idea of how you can explore the tool to really grab some more data. So here you will need, surely this is the initial platform, you will surely need to log in order to have access to the data, to be able to download the data. You can zoom to the area of interest, and then you start searching for data. Okay, ingestion date, you put in all the necessary details, whether you want Sentinel-1 or Sentinel-2, okay, and so on, Sentinel-3. Okay, so once you specify what you want, you narrow it down, then you can go ahead and start downloading the data that is useful for you. So that's just a quick overview of how to use this. I will see if it is possible I can make a short video or do a demonstration in class when we meet to look at how best some of the ways by which you can explore the data set so that you search appropriately and download adequately. So that's a quick overview of how to use the Open Access Hub and the Data Access interactive tools to download data. So remember, you can always view, review before you download, and once you're ready to download it, let me warn you beforehand, the data can maybe is usually quite huge, so make sure you have enough space on your system to download the data. So I think in our exercise, practical exercise, we'll be using data from Sentinel because it has a higher resolution compared to Landsat, especially for particular data for particular sensors. So we will use Sentinel data for our practical exercise. So we will explore this in more details in our practical classes. So you download and then you can do the processing in the tools that I'm going to show you later. Some of the software that we're going to use, I will get understanding of them during our practical classes, and also there will be a session, a lecture on the softwares that are available for processing this sort of data. So that is the Copernicus Open Access Hub. I'm just giving you an illustration, more illustration about how the data that you can get access to. You can search for different areas and you can download once you're ready. So this is an example of the southwestern coastline of Nigeria, and the previous one is an example of the Niger Delta coastline, most especially around River State, Port Harcourt, and Bayelsa State. So we have those examples just to illustrate what is possible. So you can get a quick look to see what the data looks like, and from this it's showing us that at least what we have selected, which is October 2019, October 22, we can see not a lot of cloud cover, so this is looking good. And if we look at the previous one, that's on the same, around the same time, October 29, not a lot of cloud cover, and quite illustrative of what is going on in the area. So this looks good, and depending on what we want to do, we might be able to achieve a lot with this. So let's now move on to the European Space Agency Earth Online. This also provides an entry point for access to data. So on all the Earth observation missions of the European Space Agency, so you can have access to data just like the Copernicus access, open data access that we explored earlier. So these also provide you an opportunity to look at data, explore it before downloading. So you also, it provides you opportunity to also review the different data sets from different Earth observation missions that the European Space Agency has. For example, if we look at the Cosmos SkyMed archive, okay, it started, the temporal coverage starts, it's from 15 September 2008 till present, and it gives you a whole lot of details about this particular archive, what it contains and what the different level of data that you can have access to. So that is that. Then if you look at the data access, you can get this. This is a list, so you can do a search, and from that you can decide what you want to download. So when you click get data, that gives you the access to download the data. So there's a whole lot more data that you can have access to by looking at also, if you're not going through the European, the Copernicus, which we mentioned here, you can go through these to get access to different data set. So you can download, you can explore, you can learn more about the different data set. So there's let's say we are interested in let's say oceans. Okay, it will narrow the data down for us. So my network is a bit slow, so I'll let that be. So you can see that some of the data that is available also from USGS Earth Explorer is also available here. So you can see where's ocean, bathymetry and seafloor topography, fisheries, marine environment monitoring, ocean chemistry, circulation. So there's data around all these different categories here. So this is another platform that makes it easy for you to find data, most especially when you are not sure about what is available. So by looking at the different topics here, the thematic areas, it can help you to quickly narrow down your data search to what is actually useful for you. Okay, so this is a very fantastic website, and I will advise you take a look at it and learn what it can do. So on that note, we have come to the end of this session, which is the last session of the data access tool. We have looked at the Copernicus Open Access Hub, where you have free access to Sentinel dataset, and we have also looked at the European Space Agency Earth Online website, where you also have access to search and download so many different data, even not only limited to the European Earth observation missions, also other dataset, Earth observation dataset from other space agencies can also be accessed there. So this is the end of the data access tool, and I will wrap up on a note that if you are asked to briefly explain what you've learned across the 4 sessions, can you do that? And I want you to do that. I'm going to leave a space for you to do this in the learning management system that we're using, so that you kind of wrap up your experience over the course of these 4 sessions. Thank you, and see you in the next lecture.